Hello, welcome to Quest 3, Module 2, Analysis of Persuasive Text using TEETH, the acronym. Let's get started by reviewing the questions and prompts that are included, because after we finish reading, we're going to use them to analyze the text. First is tool. Who is the audience? What is the purpose? And how does it affect the tone in the piece? Next, let's look at the evidence. Provide at least one example from the text that contains evidence of the author's tone and one piece of evidence that points to the intended audience. Next is evaluate. What is the author's purpose and does he achieve it effectively? Explain and cite evidence to support your claim. Finally, what does the author's thesis say and not say? Explain. We're ready to begin reading the article. As drone popularity rises, so do concerns, by Christopher Magg. For some holiday gift givers, this is the year of the drone. There's the DJI Phantom 2 Vision, an aircraft with 4 propellers and a high-definition camera that can fly for miles on autopilot. Priced at $1,200, this drone recently was named a top holiday gift for 2014 by USA Today. There's the Parrot AR 2.0 for sale by Amazon for $394.95, but available for $299 if you buy it from Verizon and use your Verizon smartphone to fly it. Looking to entertain the kids without spending 3 figures? No problem. Right now you can drive to Radio Shack and buy the store brand's Surveyor drone. It's red. It shoots video. With the tap of a button, it'll even do barrel rolls. And it's cheap. Normally priced at $69.99, this marvel of modern aviation is on sale for the holidays for $59. I bought them because they're cool, said Rob Powley of Mahwah, New Jersey, who bought some drones pre-assembled and built some others. He enjoys his drones so much that he forgets how many he actually owns. It's amazing what you can do with a drone, and they're getting better all the time. But for pilots of commercial planes, tourists in national parks, and even pedestrians, drones could pose problems. For years, the province of top-secret military operations, and later the public face of America's air wars against insurgents in Iraq and Afghanistan, drone technology has arrived in the consumer market, trading precision and lethality for easy-to-use cameras and low-cost fun. As the sale of drones to hobbyists exploded in 2014, however, so too did concerns about safety and privacy, along with calls for tighter state and federal regulation, which means that fun gift you place under the tree this year may face tight new regulations in the Christmases to come. It's fluid and it's confusing, Wells C. Bennett, a fellow at the Brookings Institution who studies national security law, said about the changing rules concerning hobbyist drones. There's a patchwork of laws that vary by state and municipality, and a lot of the laws will change over the next couple of years. Just 5 years ago, drones available to consumers simply didn't exist, said Mike Blades, an aerospace and defense industry analyst for Frost & Sullivan, a market research firm. Since then, growth has exploded. In what he calls a conservative estimate, Blades figures consumers will spend $720 million on drones this year. Next year, that will double, which translates to 200,000 units sold every month. By 2020, the consumer market for hobbyist drones will reach $4.5 billion, Blades estimates. That's a lot, said Blades. The opportunity with drones is huge. With 4 rotors and advanced microchips to help stabilize flight, drones are easier to fly than traditional radio-controlled planes and helicopters. They also move differently, replacing an airplane's fluid dips and arcs with the sharp pivots of a robot. Drones take off vertically, leaping straight into the sky. At altitude, a drone's computer can be synced with global positioning coordinates, causing the craft to change course with an abrupt snap before zooming off. The audience includes adults who either fly drones or have hobbies similar to what would be comparable to flying a drone, like model airplanes and helicopters, and also those who would be impacted by drones either at leisure or on their job. The author's purpose is to inform the audience of how accessible drones have become, and because of the easy access, how they might become problematic. The author's tone is enthusiastic, and it affects the piece by bleeding excitement into the audience, so they too share the author's excitement and enthusiasm about the topic. Let's take a look at the evidence portion. We're going to provide an example of the author's tone, and we're going to provide evidence that supports who the intended audience is. Let's discuss the evidence. The author's tone is enthusiastic, as indicated by the way he lists details and prices for the different types of drones. He specifically names the DJI Phantom 2 Vision, and he talks about its characteristics, the 4 propellers, the high definition camera, and so on and so forth, so that we are able to see that he's pretty enthusiastic about his topic, having way more information than a disinterested layperson would have. As evident by who was actually named in the article, we can strongly conclude that the author's intended audience is a person who has a job flying, people who are out in the open, and even people who are just walking down the street. He is talking to them because they could be negatively impacted by drones. Now we're ready to evaluate. Let's talk about what the author's purpose is and how he achieves it. The author's purpose is to inform his audience of the impending danger related to drones. However, he doesn't really accomplish what he set out to, in that he tells too many details that seem irrelevant to the main purpose. The main purpose, of course, being to warn consumers, citizens, people in society that drones can indeed be dangerous. He could have instead shared information that would have proved his point rather than information that detracts away from it. Finally, we're ready to look at the thesis. What does the thesis say and not say? The thesis states that drones could pose problems, but what the thesis doesn't say is how a person might be impacted or what a person might do to protect themselves and their families. So, the support provided does not address the possibilities and the information that would prove most important to those impacted by drones. Let's see what a teeth analysis sounds like when it's put together. The audience includes adults who fly drones as hobbies, as well as adults who may be impacted by them at leisure and on the job. The author's purpose is to inform the audience of how accessible drones are and how they can be problematic. The author's tone is enthusiastic, and it affects the piece by bleeding into the audience, so they share the author's excitement about the topic. The author's tone is enthusiastic, as indicated by the way he lists the prices for and details about drones, information that disinterested laypeople wouldn't know. The author names the DJI Phantom 2 Vision, an aircraft with 4 propellers and a high-definition camera that can fly for miles on autopilot, priced at $1,200. In addition, he names the Parrot AR 2.0 for sale by Amazon for $394.95, but available for $299 if you buy it from Verizon and use your Verizon smartphone to fly it. As evident by who was named in the article, the author's intended audience includes pilots, tourists, and even pedestrians, or anyone who could be negatively impacted by drones. The author's purpose is to inform his audience of impending danger relating to drones. However, he doesn't, because the most important information is drowned out by too many other details. When he shares that just 5 years ago, drones available to consumers simply didn't exist, the author should have provided an example conveying the danger of drones. The thesis states that drones could pose problems, but what it doesn't say is how and what people can do to protect themselves and their families. When using the TEETH acronym, you can see that your analysis of persuasive text is both logical and connected. Now you're ready to do a TEETH analysis of persuasive text on your own. Thank you for your time and good luck.